family. Hey, family. Hey, poo-poo. Hey,
Hey,
poo-poo. How are you? How are you? How are you? Family, get in here. 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 Get in here, y'all. Get in here. Make room. Scoot over. Get in.
make room and scoot over, scooch over.
Yeah, scooch over, scooch over, scooch over. Get in, get in. I forgot to do the little thing. Oh my God. Let
You
me
did
just
what
stand it.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause yeah, just woke up trying to.
You could have been doing that when the intro, because you did a really good
I
job. You did a good
know. And that
job
one,
today.
didn't that go pretty smooth today? I was
Yeah,
just gonna say that. That
maybe
went
you
really
need to take a
smooth
nap
today.
every Thursday. Maybe you need to take a nap every Thursday.
But what's going on?
Whew, what's not going on? But I'm not even gonna worry about it. There's a lot going on, but I mean, life is what it is.
It is. I'm
But I
on.
will say today I had, and we get to have these moments, right? Today I had like a maybe like a 1.5, 2 minute moment on my drive home. The song that I have been just kind of meditating to is called Have Your Way. And so the song, it's a gospel song, and the song is just talking to God, like telling him, do what you need to do, have your way in my life. But I was connecting it or relating it to everything that we're going through today or in 2020. I was just relating it to that. And I just got a little emotional. And I just went into a full worship in my car by myself because at the end of the day, I don't have any control over what I want to control. And
Right.
so if you are a control freak, and I do know myself to sometimes want to have control of everything because I want it to go a certain way, just releasing and saying, you know what, have your way. It's necessary. And that's what I did today. And once I got those tears out, I was like, whew, okay, I pressed reset. And it was like, okay, on to the next.
That's good. That's good. I
What's
like
going
how
on
you.
with you?
I wait. What did you say?
What's going on with you?
So with me, I'm trying to digest this whole Trump thing. Somebody come in, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Hey cousin. Yes, have your way. Um, in the midst of shopping, we home shopping. So, yay! Finally.
Yeah, yeah. Woo! Let's celebrate that. But
But
wait. Before you go any further, Tina, that's one thing I want to say that because everything is going on, it has unfortunately distracted us from giving us permission to celebrate our little victories, whatever it is. We're so distracted with the
yeah,
heaviness that's going on in the world that when I'm celebrating, I just purchased a home, or I just got this new gig, or whatever it is. It's almost like you're afraid to say it because you don't want to seem insensitive. You don't want to seem like you don't care about what's going on in the world. And it's not that speak for me. It's not that I don't care about what's going on in the world, but I also know that my first, the first government issue for me is my home. So if my home is not running well and taken care of, then what's going on outside of my home is it's backwards. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want us to not be able to celebrate our own personal victories because of what we're going through, globally.
well, for me, I think I've just become accustomed to not talking about myself and the things that I do because I've gotten beat up so much about it in a negative way. Um, because people don't see it as celebrations or milestones for me. I don't know how they see it. I get chastised for, for lack of a better word, thinking I'm all that.
But that's not a you issue. That is a they issue. So
I know.
right, I know. So there's like, and I think I posted something earlier today where I talked about how there's a difference between just being confident and happy and all that versus being proud. You know, God despises a proud person, a haughty person. He wants us to be humble. And so when we
Right.
are, so if he has blessed us to have whatever these things are in our lives as access to get to the next level of our lives, it's not about us. It's to give him, you know, the glory. Like, look, pretty much like, look what God did. You know, not like, look what I did this. It's not about that. And I think you and I had this conversation before, not only one-on-one, but on here, where I'm, but really one-on-one, where I'm just like, Tina, somebody need to know, hear you say those things because it gives them hope. I know you not to be a woman of a proud woman. You're not her. You're very humble, and God is going. He continues to bless you as a result of. So I don't want you to not talk about it.
I know, and I get that. I really do, but I don't want to hinder somebody else's journey at the same time. Like, I don't know what it is. They just see me, and it's just, literally, it's either I don't even know how to explain it. I just walk in the room and I'm trying to dominate the room. No, I just walked in. That's all I did was walk
Well,
in.
you did, but so here's the thing: when you are who you are in whose you are, you do dominate the room. Not you personally, but your spirit.
Right.
So there's spirits that come along with us as individuals, and you can walk into a room and either your spirit is going to match up with the spirits that's in there or not. It's going to clash,
Right.
and either your spirit is off and theirs isn't, and you know what I'm saying. So just be you. You can't worry about that, pretty
After
girl.
a while, you do get to learn. Like, you start wondering, is it you? Is it Because people well, that's a whole nother thing. But outside of that, my
Yeah.
celebration is um today. That, yeah, we did start our house shopping today, so that was awesome. So that was, after that last, I think y'all might have been those of y'all who following us religiously, and we appreciate y'all. Click
We
like and
appreciate
share
y'all.
while you at it. Click like and share. Y'all heard me um testify a few weeks ago where things didn't go so bad and my credit took a dive, and I was like, wait, what?
Right.
So we got that straightened out, and now we back on the road, which leads me to, go back to the teaching part where people think everything is always so perfect. No, it's not. Sometimes you got to put in work. You got to do the work.
Oh yeah.
And while I paid, remember, I think I told you guys I paid that guy $800 or whoever it was. That was a mistake. They're fraud. They don't do nothing. So I'm kind of pissed about that. But nonetheless, I was operating out of emotions that day because I was really angry and thrown back because it had been so many years since my credit took a dive.
Right.
So that threw me back, but it also at the same time humbled me uh, again, just to remind me that you still got to just be grateful for where you are wherever you are. And so we just kind of pumped the brakes on the house shopping for a minute till we got that situated. And
And
while
it's
that
situated.
company didn't do anything, I did it all. Well, I called them up and was, telling them that it was a mistake, and they finally saw the light. But it was just, I think, pump the brakes to remind me to just kind of pause. Don't be anxious for anything. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And just take my time and walk through this so that we make sure that we're making all the right decisions. But so that's what I was doing today. On top of, trying to understand why are we still counting? Not that why we counting the votes, but what happened in all the previous elections? Did we not have mail-in votes in the previous elections?
We did have mail-in votes, but not as many. So
As
you have
many.
we have to consider the pandemic, you know.
Right.
And honestly, to be honest with you, I really believe we have more votes now, not only because people, are siding with who they're siding with more right
Right.
now, but because they don't have to get up and go out, you know. If we had the opportunity, if everyone had the opportunity to just do their voting at home, you know, fill out their ballots at home and mail it off, it's easy. How many people, well, I know a lot of people that was like, oh my God, I was so busy. I meant to, I didn't, I couldn't, I didn't get a chance to, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm able to fill my ballot out at home and just drop it in the mail, I'm good. So if we, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I could only imagine that the numbers are so much more higher this year than they've been like ever or in a long time as a result of not having to go out. People are lazy. You know, we're used to microwave stuff. We're used to it just happening, and if it can't just happen, then I'm not gonna do it, right? And so I know a lot of it has to do with you know, folks choosing to have a certain person in office or a certain person out of office. And so that, you know, all of that adds the layers of why it is taking so long. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And like Biden said, you know, he said it best, just be patient. Let the process be the process. You know,
I know.
I mean, it's what else can we do other than
I
ask
guess
food?
this was, yeah, because I'm sure everybody's sitting on pins and needles right now. But come on in here, family, while y'all we just chopping it up. It's freestyle tonight. We're talking about the election, of course. But jump in there anywhere you feel like you want to jump in. Let me go ahead and copy the link and I'm gonna post it, and I just posted the link. Y'all jump in. Somebody come talk to me. So what I want to do, y'all talk to me, talk back. This is not, you know, theater. This is a conversation. We need to have a conversation. So what I really so we're gonna open it up with this whole Trump intimidation. What is going on with that? Kitchen soup, Trump intimidation. Pamela says we have a year. We have a year and time to look at what's really going on in the world. Yeah, we do. We have some definitely need to look. But what is happening with this Trump intimidation? Those people, the Trump supporters, are white supremacists, whatever they are. I'm seeing stuff on my internet feed that is just atrocious.
I
Like
told you earlier
taking this.
today, I was like, I can't even give it a lot of energy because it makes me want to vomit. Like it's so sickening to me that I don't even want to give it any energy. Every once in a while I'll pop in to check the numbers and see, you know, where it's at, and you know, because they'll tell you at 9 o'clock we're gonna, you know, reevaluate the percentages here. We're gonna check in with this state or that state. I'll do that, but as far as just sitting and watching it, I personally think that can, and it depends on the type of individual you are. I think that could be very depressing and overwhelming. And it's nothing that we can do right now. Nothing. But those supporters that are out there, I mean, I did see something where they were like at the window and the doors of this one
That was
location.
at an election center. An election center.
Yeah. And you're like, bam, that is so intimidating. And I would be a little afraid as the person on the inside. Like, okay, wait, what did I sign up for? Those are volunteers, you know?
Should we be afraid or should we get armed? Should we be afraid or should
Well,
we get armed?
if you get armed,
I'm seeing some stuff that's taking us back 400 years. And I just don't think we're ready to go that far back. I ain't trying to go back at all.
you should not.
Especially not 400 years. Like, okay, are we really getting ready to enter the race war that the Bible speaks about? Because it's going to come to pass.
Are we getting ready to do what? Are we getting ready to
The
do
race
what?
war. Are we getting ready to enter the race war?
Oh, are we getting ready to, or are we in?
Yeah, that part. Well,
that part.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe we are right where, I mean, the Bible does not say put anything out there that returns void, right? So we have been warned, you know, and I think this is a great time for me personally. It's time for me to really sharpen up on, okay, what did he say again? Because I need to pay attention to what he said was going to happen. because it's happening, you know. And you
Oh,
saying, do we go and get our guns?
get our guns. Yeah, yeah.
Well, people, and like Arizona, they're allowed to carry theirs. That's like
That's
just
another
grab it and go.
subject. California is the only state that is not allowed to carry them, so we sitting ducks. But they got,
What are we
but
sitting
they
at?
all got them. They got them. I mean, we can have them in our house, but you gotta have this locked up and that locked up and all this other stuff.
You can't
But
carry it out unless you have a permit, which is a CCW, concealed. What is it? CC, concealed carry weapon or something to that effect. But you have to have that permit in order for you to be able to have it on you. Like many of us have guns, and okay, but there's laws that go with that. What did somebody say?
Nika said, "Tam, you got with your badge yet? You got gun with your badge yet? Oh, you got a gun with?
Oh,
Oh,
do I
she
have
couldn't.
I don't have a CCW. You know, a permit to carry a concealed weapon. Permit to carry a concealed weapon. I don't have that. I don't.
She said it's a concealed carry permit, CCP.
No.
Nicole says concealed
Well,
carry.
there's also CCW, but okay, it's the same thing. It's a
Yeah,
permit to, gives you permission to carry it, right? And so I know many people with guns, a whole bunch,
right.
and not just my cop friends. I mean, people that's just my homegirls or the guys that I know that have guns. I probably know about 2 or 3 that have the CCW, and everybody else, they just have one. Some have a permit and some don't have a permit for the license, and some don't have a license for the gun. But
Yeah.
I do know that, and maybe it's time. Maybe I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
how far do we go? Because they're getting very disrespectful. How far do we go? I saw something on the feed the other day. They literally blocked the woman in while she's trying to vote. I read. I mean, I was watching on my channel one. I love channel one. They Spectrum News. They keep you right in the neighborhood. They keep you right in the neighborhood. But they had a thing on a special about these supremacists and i.e. Trump supporter people, and they said they study the law, which is what we don't. We got to get educated, people. Get educated. Hear me when I say this. A lot of our disadvantage is because we don't educate ourselves. But they educate themselves on the law, and then they know right how to go up to the line without crossing it. But some of what I've seen this week, because they're angry, they're crossing the line and they're pushing that envelope. What do we do? I mean, like, is it okay for us to push back? Or are we going to be the ones that go to jail?
Well, so that's the thing. It's a moral, it's the legal, the moral, the ethical, all those things come to play. Are you interviewing me? Wait a minute.
I am a commentator. That's what I do.
I see. Hey, listen, you know me. I'm going way more in on the spiritual than I am anything else. But what I am going to say is, and you and I talked about this, it's because of things like this where new laws are created, and I didn't answer your question because I can't answer that question. I can't say, yeah, well, if they cross the line, then you do A, B, C, or D. How would you feel about that?
The girl had her phone filming. I'm filming you. They calling her all out her names, everything but a child of God and an angel that she was. And the woman slapped the phone out her hand. Ooh. Now you've assaulted me.
Well, okay, so now there is a law broken there. Now you've crossed the line. Right? So what do you do when the line has been crossed, which is what you're asking? Do you cross the line back, or what do you do? What do you do? I'm asking Tina.
When the police came, let me give you the scenario so you know what we're up against before you make a decision. You need to make an informed one.
I'm not making a decision.
When the police came, they said they didn't witness anything. and they let the people go. So it was like, okay. She said, I have it on film. I was filming the whole thing. And they just was like, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about type of stuff.
Right.
So now we don't even have the protection of the law.
Right.
What do you do?
That's unfortunate. And that's the world that we're living in today. What kind of decisions do you make? I don't know. I can't tell you how to respond to that. You know, I know how an individual would probably respond, but is it right? Is it wrong? Is it ethical? I don't know. How would you respond to that?
If somebody assaults me, I'm probably gonna react. I'm probably gonna react.
If
Yeah.
somebody knocks something out of your hand, 9 times out of 10, you're going to
React.
you're going back at them. You're not going to call the police.
You're gonna react.
You have to be really in control of your
Right.
emotions.
So what I would probably do is not stand there filming. I'm gonna get the heck out of there because I
Why
know.
stand around? Because they can do this all day long.
Right.
But
that's me. Yeah, but I don't. Why she stood there to she just wanted. She said on the film she wanted to see. She wanted to show you what the supporters, what their moral compass is, what they were doing while they calling her all her name, telling her, do whatever, get out the car, get out the car, all this kind of foolishness. But yeah, I'm just gonna go because I'm not gonna entertain that because I know where it will end up. It would end up in a war. Yeah, for sure.
You have to understand the temperature today. The temperature today is, everybody, we're doing some things that is unethical. And it can lead to a very, very dark and bad place. So I'm with you. Don't even stick around. Just keep going. Just let them talk as long as they want to talk, but keep pushing. Keep going and do what you need to do. Don't stand there and try and record because now they are going to be like, get that camera out of my face, Yeah,
they well, she wasn't in their face. She was in her space. And they approached her personal space and told her that I will slap that out of you. They were just using all kind of expletives. And was that the right word? Expletives. Anyway, so they were trying to provoke her. They asked her, get out, do something. So she was like, what, you want me to get out and hit you? What, so all of y'all can jump me? It was on the internet. I don't know why you didn't see that. But then there was also another one where
I don't hover over that stuff. I
know. Don't. It was another one where the police, two police got fired. Oh my God, I can't even remember because that one just came to my mind, what city they were in. But they were having a conversation. It was on their camera and their body camera, whatever, the car cam. And the one police was like, he can't wait till this jump off. He gonna go out there and just kill up a whole bunch of black mother effer. Well, the one cop, while he said, well, that's not right, he's, later kind of joined in on some of the conversation, but he didn't say he was going to go out there and intentionally just be shooting up folks like that. But he did say some other racial things. But I was just listening, and this was on the news, the clipping that was on some news station. But the two cops obviously got fired, thank God. But I'm like, our cops are all tainted like that too. And the guy was just.
No, they're not all tainted like that. So have you heard any cops that have said something positive during this time? Have you looked for those type of commentaries?
I'm not looking for any of it. I'm not looking for any of it.
I know you're not going to look for it.
Yeah.
But have you run across? I should say that.
Oh, trust me. I believe there are a lot of good cops out there. I do. But I believe that the system itself is corrupt. And even the good ones out there are I think they're outnumbered by the bad ones. I really do. I think because I think it's systemic. And the people who are good, they just don't feel like they can fight it or conquer it, so they just sit back silently. And if you sitting back silently watching it, that's why I ask every cop that I do know. That is one question that I do ask at people as that I know that are cops. Have you ever seen it? And if you have, what have you done about it? Or what do you do? You know
That's a
what I
good
mean?
question. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
because that, to sit back and watch it, you just as guilty for the job. No,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
I was going to be I went out for a correctional officer when I was many years ago, young, and I just really I got up to the third interview and everything, and I really thought I was gonna get this, but I had some more haters, and my boss at that time literally blocked the promotion, and years later. I was angry at the time, but years later, when I got into my trouble and ended up behind on that other side of the line and saw how the people were being treated, I knew then that I could never have been in that environment. So that's why I'm saying I would be the one that probably get fired, because the way they were treating the people, I could never have treated people like that. I just
Right.
could not do it.
Right.
So, having said that, that's my little piece on that. Eric said, just as much as they prepare to intimidate, we can prepare to respond and initiate. Oh, you said you gonna stand back and stand ready?
You gonna do what?
You gonna stand by and stand ready, like Trump said. We can prepare to initiate. You're right. All right. Well, let's go on to this. The iron skillet, the 2020 election. We kind of covered a little bit about earlier when we said, the count and what's happening. A lot of it is being held up because we got more mail-in ballots, so that's why it's taking so long. Because the
Not
question, if
that was
y'all
down
mentioned
though.
earlier,
They just weren't. They just haven't been counted. I know I
what
did write down, like, right now they have their, well, not right now. This was maybe like 2 hours ago. There was like a 75K difference, but there's 325K ballots that have not been counted.
yeah.
That's
Well, I saw 18,000 about an hour. Yeah, 18,000 in one of the states, because Georgia is literally like a split, 1%. They waiting on 1%. I'm just wondering, do they already know and they trying to come up with a plan to make sure that there's going to be peace? Come on now. I can't believe it's taking them all this time to count these ballots.
I mean, I can see it. And honestly, when I
Yeah.
think about it, I'm like, this is the time they should have been taking to count the ballots years prior. Like, take your time and count these ballots. Make sure that they are being counted properly. You know, like I said earlier, I know it has a lot to do with so many people given the opportunity to mail in their ballots. Now, people are really they took advantage of it. I heard someone talking about, well, what about those who are no longer with us? That was kind of like,
What does that mean?
because people that mailed in their ballots early that passed away as a result of COVID.
Do they not get to count?
Well, that's what someone was saying earlier, and I don't know the answer to that. And I'm like,
Oh,
well,
wow.
do they? I don't know.
Is there a law? You got to go to the law.
I, I
Once
don't
the
know. I
vote
don't.
is cast, it counts. Once the vote is cast, it counts. So the law is the law. You don't. It's not a, oh well.
Well,
Let's
that's the
pick
law,
it up.
yeah. And which, yeah, absolutely. Which I'm certain many people have passed away prior to that
Yeah.
solid number has been counted. But it's
He gonna pull up. He
come
gonna
on.
pull
I
up.
mean, that's not funny. That's not funny. But what I know what you're saying, like, okay, all these people have passed away. Have you heard of the new numbers, the new daily number of
Of
COVID
what?
positive? It's over
Oh, COVID.
100,000 a day.
Oh yeah, over COVID positive numbers. Yes, yeah. Now because we're going back up, which is why we separated again. Poo poo.
And it's like, you know what? It's like all of this election stuff and everything else. everything is so distracting. Like we get distracted, even when like the George Floyd thing was going on and they were out rioting and all that. People were going out and emotionally not even thinking about the pandemic, and so the numbers rise at that time because now you're having contact with folks without the mask, or you're touching things and touching people, and you're not being intentional about, okay, let me make sure I clean this, I wipe that, I wash that. This is what's going on now because you have the supporters going out in droves, 100 and 200 here, and I'm looking at the news and I don't see everybody with masks.
Lorraine Buchanan said, "Hey, Lorraine, thanks for coming in, sis." She says, "How would they know if they not there no more?" I'm thinking, would you check the obituaries? Is that what you're talking about? The people who passed, if they're not with us anymore, that would be check the obituary. Oh, death certificate. I don't know.
Check obituaries, but if it's a COVID situation, that's CDC. They have
right. Pamela says they've narrowed it to 1797 difference in Georgia. So the gap is narrow.
So you have Pennsylvania that will help or hurt Trump, and then you have Arizona and Nevada that will, like, it's just.
If he gets any one of them, it's a wrap. All he needs is, but Georgia for real. He's never had Georgia. And they haven't had Georgia since 1992.
You did your homework.
I did a little. I'm a commentator. We haven't had Georgia since 1992. So when I did see that, I was like, dang, this so. And now it's an even split. So, but even with that even split, because it's so close, he will have a right to a recount. With that smaller margin, the law says.
Well, you get a recount when it's under, I think, 1% of a difference.
Something like that.
It's really small. Yeah,
but
really
this
small.
Literally will be an almost even split. Literally, it'll be enough, I'm thinking, for a recount. But
well, I mean, he said
he's gonna push it anyway because he declared today on his thing that they won and we all cheated.
Well, I mean, the lawsuits that don't really have any solid backing to it, but there's lawsuits going on because he thinks there's cheating, and it's just so unfortunate. It really is. It's sad.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys want to talk to us? Let us know what you think. Anybody have any comments on this election stuff that's going on, or the intimidation? Give us some perks. I just posted the link again. Come in. I'll put you on the screen,
y'all.
Give us. My daddy told me he got all his guns ready, but he's in Texas, so they get to have the guns.
All his guns ready.
I was like, Daddy, you don't need to be riding around with all the guns. Are you crazy? But again, he's in a state where they're allowed to do that, and I guess So they feel safer. I don't know.
What do you think about some of the because I did print out, remember last week or last show we talked about the different and so I was looking at some of the measurements that, well, all of them, the ones that passed, the ones that failed. Now the one that you were really like, I don't know about that, was the one, I forget what number it was, but it had something to do with the bail.
The no money bail. It didn't pass, and I'm glad.
Yeah. No. And what?
It did not pass.
What about the rent control one?
So I voted against the rent control. I mean, no, I voted for the rent control. I'm sorry.
I still think that it's all in the verbiage. People, they can't possibly understand what some of these measures are or propositions are for, and the way that they vote. I'm like, maybe we need to break them. Not we, but they need to be broken down a little bit more, because the rent control one says what to you?
Well, they wanted more government control to control the rent increases, because like how they got pushed out, that's what creates genocides. How they got pushed out of Inglewood because of the forum coming. Some of those people's rent went up 3 times what it was. Like that's
Yeah.
unreasonable.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. Everybody was trying to capitalize on the whole stadium situation, but my I
Too.
just feel like you should have been loyal to people who kept Inglewood alive because
Yeah, that was too much.
Park Street was dying and has been dead a long time. And the people who was loyal and been there, you should not have. If I was an owner to any of that commercial property, I don't think I would have done that to those people. Like,
That's been there.
try to do your increases, appropriately, but to go from 1,500 a month to 5,000 a month was just unreasonable. And
Yeah.
that's what did, and that's why
Right.
you saw a lot of them closing up. So, this was more rent anywhere, I guess. But yeah, so that's what it was about. Me as a homeowner and a landlord, I voted for the rent control. I voted against myself on that one because something's got to be done for the good of the order. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is why I say when you get blessed, you, Tina, don't be afraid to say it because you are a good person. You see what you just said? I voted against myself on this because you do things for the good of the order, right? It's not just about me, what I can do. And there's so many people that I even know, that's all about self. Everything that they do, they have to benefit from it. Sometimes you
Right.
got to take that loss. And guess what? It's not even necessarily a loss. It's
No.
just you're not going to, that right there is not going to benefit you. And that's
No.
okay, right? Your blessing may come in blessing them.
Right.
So
I
thank
mean,
you.
it just would not have made sense in no way. Just my conscience. Plus, I got a nonprofit that supports homeless.
Listen,
I'm making them homeless on one end and trying to get,
right.
that don't even
And
make
when you run for government, some type of government position, they're gonna do their homework on you and be like, she was confused.
yeah, she voted. Yeah, no. So that one did not pass. I was disappointed that the commercial increased property because I just feel like some kind of way we're gonna end up getting that. Homeowners are gonna end up biting some of that. They said that we won't. But anytime you increase properties, taxes, people feel it. Everybody feel it. So
Everybody feel it.
that one did win the commercial. I think it was 15. Was it 15?
And
With
just
the commercial property increase, and they said they won because they saying it's supposed to go to the schools and it's supposed to go to this. I know somebody called me last week about that. Somebody,
yeah,
I wish I would have been able to talk because I'm a teacher and this and that. And I'm like,
right.
yeah, y'all got the lottery money. What happened to that?
So you have to be mindful of the words that they will use. They'll use one word that will draw you in. The schools, okay, the children. Of course, your heart goes out to the children, the
Yeah.
future, but everything else that goes around that, just like the one that was passed for, and you may have been with this, defunding the police. It's not only defunding the police; it's the fire department. It's a nurse. It's all of those different positions that are included with that, not just the police. People were going for defunding the police because they don't like police. The police is doing all kinds of stuff out there in them streets. So the focus was it was laser focused on the police, trying to hurt the police. But there's so many other things attached to that. When I was reading it today, I was like,
Which initiative was that?
I need to read. I have it in here, and I'll post it as soon as I find it. But
Yeah, because
uh,
I don't. I think that I don't think I will because not every area had something
get
on
that. Yeah.
on the situation. But Nicole says, yep to what, Nicole? Yep, what you saying? Yep to what? Pamela says it's going to get worse if he doesn't win the election. You think so, Pam? Now that's what I'm worried about. If he don't win, will
What
this
is
set a
he gonna
fire?
do between now and January 20th at 12 o'clock? Because he's still in office until January 20th. What is he gonna be like? Hands off, whatever. What's gonna happen in the meantime?
Well, here's what my Channel One News said. They had a specialist come on there last night, And he said, well, if he does not win, what he know to be true is, on that day, he will not be handed the keys. That's what he knows. So I was like, wait, what keys? So how does that work? I know that was probably a euphemism, but
Right.
it sounded very definite. Like you don't get the key to get in on the first if you're not the president. So you won't get the key to the White House, is what he said. So now, if this man don't want to come out the sandbox, they're gonna have to literally drag him out because this other specialist, this lawyer, said you will not get the keys on the purse. It just hasn't ever happened. It won't happen. So
Okay, and then what?
that's the question. If anybody out there know, help us out. Please
That's
tell
a
us
$1 million question. Okay.
what you think is going to happen if he loses and he chooses not to get out. Because I
Well,
don't think
okay.
he gets to
Let's
stay
let's
there while
bring
he's
it home.
fighting.
Let's bring it home because it's got to work the same way. Let's bring it home. If you evict someone from your place, what happens with the eviction process? There's a process, right?
There is a process, but this is a little different, I think. Eva
I mean,
Sparks
I
is
know it's a lot
Eva,
different.
jump on that thing. Eva
Oh
Sparks is
yeah,
joining
Eva,
us tonight because I know y'all talked about it the other day on Taco Tuesday. I know y'all talked about it. What you think is going to happen? Eva says he's not going to agree to a peaceful transition.
I
We
know
know
it's not going to be peaceful.
it's not going to be a peaceful transition, but then what? Then what? Are they going to have to call his own National Guard out to pull him out?
They won't be his National Guards anymore.
Oh, that's right. Ooh,
They're working
ew.
for someone else, and that's got to be an uncomfortable position. Could you imagine how many people you're not going to agree with everything that everybody say, even if it is your leader, right? He is our leader. Unfortunately, we are put in a position to where we are supposed to obey the land of the laws of the land, right? And he's our head. We don't agree with everything that he says. Could you imagine how many people that's under him that's just like, this is some crap? What's funny?
Larray said a military that he calls suckers and losers gonna get him out.
Oh, they're gonna be
Because he do have a tendency to alienate you when you're not serving his purpose. So yeah, he said some pretty awful things to about a lot of people. But now, and then today, he lit CNN on fire when he said Philadelphia and Detroit is known for their corruption and whatever that he called it, corruption, and basically saying that they're criminals. And that's, yeah. So they gonna do some crooked stuff over there. When I tell you they was lit up in flames on CNN for making the president of the United States making a racist statement like that. You know, Philadelphia and Detroit is all black mostly, and so you make a statement like, oh yeah, they known for their criminal activity and being crooked.
right.
Really?
Yeah.
I wrote it down because I was like, did he call Detroit the
Like,
most
wait a
corrupt
minute.
place? I wrote it down because I wanted to ask somebody, and I just remembered. And then I turned to CNN, and they said, yes, he did.
But who was that said that if he lose, he is going to respond like a whiny kunta kinte? Did you hear that today?
I didn't hear that.
They were reading it while I was at work. I heard somebody reading it, and I'm like, wait, what? I said, it's just way too much going on. It's too much.
It's a lot. If y'all just joining us, get in here, family. Scoot over, click like and share on your way in. Click like and share.
Scooch over.
Yeah, we talking about this president, the one that got about 30 more minutes in office, and just his shenanigans and how he's acting like a 2-year-old in a sandbox, like because I lost the game, everybody is crooked and nobody is acting right. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I
Okay,
never.
It's we can't say. I know we want to say, but we can't say that he is not. Because remember, we were very surprised. The Democrats were very surprised that he even got in 2016. So this,
So listen to this. He did the conference, and he didn't answer no questions. But one of the news commentators wanted to say, "So you saying stop the votes? Everything is crooked." But now the race is really, really getting close. What if you actually win? Because right now we really can't tell. Are you gonna still say it's not crooked? Do we
right,
now keep going with your shenanigans?
right,
If you want to answer that question, because obviously it's stop the votes if I'm winning,
yeah,
and you know,
yeah,
it don't make sense. I don't
right,
know. But
yeah.
that is a good question, though. What happens if he does win? Is it now going to be should Biden contest it? Do you think Biden will contest it? Will it be something crooked? Because Trump is saying people are literally bringing bags of votes in out of nowhere. He think Biden people are doing it. They
Oh,
just bringing unknown ballots in.
well, so with a couple of the lawsuits that he placed, there's been, from what they said on, I think it was like ABC News, about 3 judges that kicked it out because he doesn't have anything to stand on with what he is saying. Like they're cheating. It's like, okay, how are they cheating? What are they doing? And so the information he's providing, it's not solid.
Yeah, but the thing is, people, I guess my biggest concern, because we all know he's an idiot, and I don't care if they play this 100 years, if I become senator somewhere, I ain't running for it, but when you put something on in the internet, it's on the internet. He's an idiot, like, come on. But I done lost my thought. The guy, oh shoot, forget it. I lost my thought. I don't even know what I was going to say. But anyway, Larry, his crazy self said on the debate stage that he was the least racist on the stage, and not that he's not a racist. Did I catch that? No, I've heard him say it. Um, but I've heard him say that he's the least racist person,
I've
but
heard
do
him
I
say that.
believe it? No, I don't believe it. No, because there's been too much evidence um, to speak otherwise. His school and all the other things that, his personal businesses, they got lawsuits for different things. So,
Well,
yeah,
and
no.
see, I think that's a way of him um, passing time, so to speak. I mean, he's a businessman. He know all the ups and downs and what you need to do to pause time and add this and take away that. So, I mean, he's where you say he's an idiot. There's still some things that he do business wise that you get. Like, okay, I see the game you're playing. I see the chess pieces that you're moving.
Yeah. Nicole said you're defunding the police, which I didn't know that was on the ballot. I know they were going to take 10% of the budget and allocate it to other resources for the people who have become, instead of in lieu of getting incarcerated,
No, no,
get put in
that's
programs. But I didn't have nothing on mine that I thought said
did she
defund.
did she put the information on there? Or she just said
He
yes, they
said
are defunded.
people didn't understand how defunding the police uh, would affect more agencies than the police department. Yeah, but see, but here again, the the global was defund the police, but they technically are not trying to literally defund the police. They want to take some of the funds that the police have and allocate it to other services. They don't want to completely wipe out the police and all these other agencies, because we all, with any kind of common sense, understand we need those type of agencies.
Well,
Just
I mean, you have people out there that saying we'll police our own community. I mean, come on.
well, I think they want to put some funding into some organizations like that, and I don't necessarily disagree with some of that. I
Well,
think
I'm
there
not.
should be mediations because they just don't understand some of our demographics in some of these areas. And I think maybe a mediator might help that in some areas. You understand what I'm saying? Not all areas.
I definitely understand what you're saying, but here's the thing: we can't start off with this big ball of fire and then fizz out. So that's what we see. We see this big rally, this big march, this big fight that, hey, we need to do A, B, C, or D while it's still fresh. But then what happens to you being disciplined enough to continue it so that you can see it through? Like, what's the goal and how do you get there? Right? How do you get to the goal? Forget having a goal, because everybody have a goal.
Man.
But what is the work that needs to be done to get there? And then once you get there, what's the goal for the goal? You don't just, that's not it. We have arrived, that's it. We are at the end of it. But many of us don't even really get started. You know, it's just the emotions of it behind it. So I don't know. It's so much. It's so much.
I remember what I wanted to say. I was like, ooh, y'all pray for me. I rebuke that spirit.
Who is that?
Hi, Danielle. Thanks for joining us. Come on in. Get in here. Get in here. I know you got something good to say. Danielle says she didn't see that on the ballot, defunding the police. I think that's what they want to put on the ballot. I don't think it's gotten there yet.
Huh?
Defunding the police. Has that gotten to a ballot yet?
I wouldn't say. What do you mean yet? Because it is. Well, they are defunding the police.
Oh, they are. It's not something we gonna vote on. Oh,
that's been approved. So, and so what I'm trying to do in my mind is make sure I'm not adding what I've read in my work email versus what's. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, what did Nicole say? Because this might be something that I.
Nicole said, "Oh, let me find it, because it's going up there. Y'all, I love y'all interaction. Keep doing it. Keep doing." Nicole said, "What did she say? Not everybody understands that it's other agencies that are involved." I think she said something to that. But Danielle said it wasn't on the ballot, so okay. I guess
so because Nicole is very interactive with her the station where she's at. Me and her may be on the same page as in-house stuff. I know that they have been defunded. I know that for a fact. But it being on the ballot, I don't know what ballot it would be.
Well, when you say defunded, are you saying they've lost some of their funding?
Absolutely.
Because the police stations are not going away. They just lost a big chunk of their budget.
Not taking away all of its funds.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But
I think that's
a big chunk.
People think when you hear defunding, get rid of all the police is what I think
a big chunk, as in people are being laid off, as in they sent a list of, hey, this is, a list of sworn, non-sworn, how long you've been on the department. I'm talking about the sheriff's department, not any other department. And so I know that that's been an ongoing thing, and that's why I said, because I do know that Nicole is very connected with the department over there with her, that she and I may be talking about the same thing, but it was approved.
Okay. Danielle says Eric Garcetti took 150 million away. So yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Wow, that's a big chunk. Ooh, okay. All righty then. And then those funds are going to be allocated, from what I heard, to other programs to help the lower socioeconomic communities that are more prone to crime, like giving them drug programs and all these other different type of programs, right? That's what's supposed to go, Danielle?
It should be, but let's see how that works.
Let me know how that work out for you.
Listen.
You had that look, Graham. You look like you were a decisive line right there. Let me know how that work out for you. 911. He'd be like, okay, may I help you? Oh, 911 got laid off. Sorry.
Right. I'm just saying the defund is going to affect so many other.
Yeah, it's not a laugh. I make fun of everything. You got to laugh to keep from crying. People don't nobody be getting behind to me like, oh, I'm famous. Talking about that was an insensitive thing you said. But no, what I wanted to say earlier is that to speak to what Laria said, what he says on the podium. He says a lot of things, and that's what concerns me. People really believe him. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of the Instagram feed, following different things, and the one it was a supremacist, and he literally said they were listening to the president, and the commentator said, "What did you get out of that comment when he said stand back and stand ready or what however?" And he was like, "Yeah, for us that meant stand ready for his command, and we are waiting for his command." This guy literally said that live. I was like, okay.
Right.
So I just think that we need not to feel like this is a joke. We're making fun and making light of it, but this could possibly happen if this guy gets put out of this position, and but just by the mere way that he thinks, he will ignite something just to say, "Who on you?" and "I can do it." That's how
Yeah,
narcissistic he is.
I
And
definitely.
that is dangerous. That will incite a war that will cost many people their lives, um, simply because I believe our community is ready to.
Yeah, I
So
do agree. I
our
definitely agree.
community is ready too. So they on the streets. We're not as organized as, a lot of organizations are, which is, one of my pet peeves. They need to be a little bit more organized with but I'm proud of the fact that they are also being aware,
Yeah,
and they're not going to just be simply caught off guard.
right,
That's,
right.
that's just what I think.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. We do have to be very vigilant, and mindful and watchful. Like I was telling you earlier of that email that somebody sent, that supposedly had been sent to NAACP, that says that the white supremacists and KKK, they were going to be snatching our young black boys and black men, and they were going to hang them. They will
Mm,
be hanging them. And so, we, whether it's a hoax or whatever, we can't even look at it like that. We have to be mindful and think it is they're for real. And so when we go out, young men, even us, and you brought this to me, I'm like, I have a lot of friends that have sons, and I don't have a son. So when, for example, the George Floyd situation came up, all of my friends were like, "I have a son, and I fear for my son, and my son, and my son," and I don't have that. So I didn't have that same fear. But I have a brother, I have a guy, a dude, I have cousins that are men. But your child is something totally different. So I couldn't feel what you all felt. But with this right here, it's kind of like it's no, everybody is gang.
So wait, let me just get this right. The email that you got, it came
The
just it.
email that I read, I didn't receive it.
Oh, okay, you
Someone
read.
someone forwarded it to me.
Oh, and it was indicating that there's could considerably a real threat that these supremacists are literally going to be out. And this is if Trump loses.
Well, it didn't say
If
if
they
Trump
win,
loses. It didn't say if he loses.
oh,
It just says that NAACP received credible information advising that the white supremacists and KKK will be snatching our young black boys and black men, and they will be hanging them.
wow. Mm. All right, y'all heard it right here at the
At
Kitchen
the
Table
kitchen
Talk.
table.
We are approaching an hour. Gosh, we want to thank y'all for your interaction today.
Yeah.
Joining us, Danielle, Larray, Pamela, Eric, Lolo. Gosh, we thank y'all for interacting with us today and joining the conversation at the table. Is definitely one that needs to be had. One more thing I want to go before we get off. You said earlier this week that you were talking to your girls about the election. What did you tell them?
To my daughter. Oh, I was talking to my little one and her friends. They were over, and so they don't really know the ins and outs of what they need to be looking for. But what I was advising them is that they need to pay attention, because in 1 year, in 2 years, they're going to be held accountable to know what all the different definitions are. Pay attention in your classes right now. Don't wait
Right.
until, because that was me. In high school, okay, I passed, I got through it, but I wasn't really into it, right? And it wasn't until I was made to do it. Like, my parents made me go vote. You have to vote. Your voice count. So I was really just letting them know how important their voice is. And not only in the other arena. So I was giving them analogies as far as how they speak up for themselves about the little boys they like, or their dance class, or they want to, have this particular dance lead their dancers. Same thing and some, because this is your life that we got to be concerned about. So that's pretty much what we were talking about, the importance of having a voice. And how there was a point where we didn't have that voice. And now that you can, you take advantage of that.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Y'all heard it right here at the Kitchen Table Talk. Join us in 2 weeks, Thursday night, 7 o'clock.
You put up 3 fingers. 2 weeks.
Did I do that? Okay. Because I'm Brum Man from the fifth floor. Every other week, y'all. Every other week here at the Kitchen Table Talk. Ram's going to be on tomorrow night with... No.
It's a black week.
Black Week, Blackout Week. Well, anyway, let's be clear. Well, we're celebrating also your launch of Life After the D.
Life After the D.
Yes, Life After the D. So y'all go to Ram. Where's the website they can go to get your book?
Bit.ly. I will. I'll drop it, but
you'll post it. That's probably too much for me.
I'll post it. Yeah.
You'll post it exactly. All right, you guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.